The town was already gone. Water swallowed the streets, dragged doors off hinges, tore lives apart like they meant nothing. Iron Hollow wasn't a town anymore. It was a grave. And on the last piece of it, she was still there. Dress soaked, clinging to her body, thin silk plastered to skin that trembled with cold. Her fingers dug into broken shingles, knuckles white, arms shaking, but she didn't let go. Rowan Hale watched from the ridge, still, silent, untouched by the chaos below. A man who had learned long ago not to get involved. Then she looked up, not screaming, not begging, just refusing. That was the mistake. Rowan shifted in the saddle. One small movement. Enough. Go. Blackfire stepped forward, straight into the flood. The current slammed against the horse's chest, pulling, dragging, trying to take them both. But Rowan didn't hesitate, didn't look back. There was only one thing in his world now, a straight line between him and her. Water climbed higher, to the saddle, then past it. Cold, violent, unforgiving. She saw him coming. Her grip faltered, just slightly. Her strength was gone. He reached her, leaned down, one arm locking around her waist, solid, unyielding. She gasped, body lifting, losing contact with the roof, losing everything she had left to hold on to. And then she was against him. Wet, cold, too light, too fragile. Her body pressed against his chest, thin fabric between them, barely anything. He could feel everything. The tremor in her ribs, the rapid beat of her heart, the way she tried, and failed, to hold herself together. Hold on. His voice cut through the storm. She didn't answer. But her hands, instinctively, grabbed onto him, fist closing into his shirt, tight, desperate. Rowan pulled the reins, turning Blackfire against the current, the hardest part. The flood fought back, harder now, like it didn't want to let her go. But step by step, inch by inch, they pushed through it. She pressed closer without realizing, her face near his shoulder, her breath uneven, warm against his neck despite the cold. He felt it, every second of it. And for a man who hadn't let anyone this close in years, it was too much. The horse broke free, water falling away behind them, mud, rain, silence creeping back in. She didn't let go, didn't even try. Her fingers were still clenched in his shirt, like if she released him, she would disappear again. He didn't push her away, didn't loosen his hold either, because something in that moment felt wrong. Not the rescue, not the storm, her. No one gets left behind like that, not by accident. Looked back once, at what used to be a town, at the rooftop swallowed whole, at the place she should have died. And for the first time, he wasn't thinking about the flood. He was thinking about who left her there. The storm didn't follow them up the ridge, but the cold did. It clung to her, to him, to the space between them. By the time Rowan reached the cabin, she was barely holding herself upright. Her grip loosened, just enough that he felt it. He dismounted first, then turned, hands already reaching for her. This time, not pulling, not urgent, just steady. Her body leaned into him as he lifted her down. Too easily, too light. Her feet touched the ground, but she didn't step away. Didn't seem to know how. Inside. His voice was lower now, closer. The cabin swallowed them in. Warmth, barely. Fire, low. Enough to live. He moved first, adding wood, building heat. Behind him, she stood where he left her, still, soaked. The dress clinging tighter now, every line of her visible in the flicker of firelight. Rowan noticed and immediately looked away. Too late. You'll freeze. He said it like fact, not concern, but it was both. She didn't answer, didn't move. He reached for a blanket, thick, worn, stepped toward her and stopped. Because up close, it was worse. The water still dripping from her sleeves, the fabric pressed against her skin, the way her breath hitched slightly with each inhale. She was shaking. Not dramatic, not loud, just constant. Take it off. The words came rough, direct, then a pause. He added, quieter, the dress. Her eyes lifted to his, searching, not afraid, just measuring. Then, slowly, she nodded. Her fingers moved to the edge of the dress, careful, like every motion cost something. Rowan turned away, immediately. Gave her his back, gave her space. Behind him, the sound of wet fabric loosening, sliding, falling. He didn't look, didn't move, but he heard it, felt it, too clearly. Here. He held the blanket behind him, not turning, just offering. Her fingers brushed his, cold, light. He let go. A second passed, then another. Done. Her voice, quieter than before, but steady. He faced her again, wrapped in the blanket now, tight around her shoulders, but it didn't hide everything, just enough. Her hair still wet, falling over her skin, firelight catching the curve of her neck, the line where fabric met warmth. He looked. This time he didn't look away immediately. Then he moved, past her, giving space again. There's dry clothes. He gestured to a small chest. They'll be big. A pause. But they're warm. She nodded, moved, slow, still adjusting, still aware of him, of the space, of everything. The fire had grown, the room warmer, the storm quieter outside. She sat near the hearth now, wrapped, dry, wearing his shirt. It hung loose on her, but somehow that made it worse. The collar slipped slightly at one side, exposing skin that hadn't been visible before. Rowan sat across from her, not close, not far. The distance intentional. You should sleep, he said, but didn't move. She looked at him, studied him. Why did you come back for me? The question landed clean. He didn't answer right away, didn't look away either. You were there. Simple. That's not a reason. Something shifted, small but real. I don't leave people behind. A pause, then quieter. Not like that. She watched him, longer now, seeing more than before. They did. That truth sat between them, heavy. His jaw tightened slightly, not at her, at whoever had done it. "Who?" he asked. She shook her head. "Not yet. Not ready. Later." He accepted that, didn't push. The fire cracked again, shadows shifting, closer now, everything closer. Her hand moved, almost without thinking, toward the warmth, toward him. Her fingers brushed his, light, brief, but this time neither of them pulled away immediately. The space between them, smaller now, not by distance, but by choice, because the storm had taken everything from her, but it had left her here, in his cabin, in his space, close enough that neither of them could pretend they didn't feel it. Morning came quietly. No storm, no chaos, just light, soft, spilling through the small window. For the first time, the world felt still. Rowan was already awake, sitting near the door, knife in hand. Habit, not need. He heard her before he saw her. Soft movement. Fabric. Bare footsteps on wood. She stepped into the room, wearing his shirt again. Loose. Too big, but it followed her movement in ways he was starting to notice. Her hair was dry now, falling freely down her back. She didn't hesitate this time, didn't stay near the fire. She moved toward the table, toward him. "You are awake." Not a question. He nodded once, watching her, more openly now. "So are you." She stopped near the table, close enough that he could see the shift in her breathing. Slower than last night, but still careful. "I make food," she said. Simple, certain. The smell filled the cabin. Warm, real, not survival, something else. Rowan sat, plate in front of him, watching her move. She wasn't hesitant anymore, not the same way. She moved through the space like she had decided she belonged in it. When she leaned over the table, her sleeve slipped slightly, skin catching the light. He noticed again, and this time he didn't pretend he didn't. She set the plate in front of him. Then, instead of stepping away, she stayed, standing beside him. "You do not trust people," she said, just like that. He glanced up, met her eyes. "No." A pause. "I don't." She nodded, like she expected that. "But you trusted me." That one stayed in the air. He looked at her longer now, really looked. "I made a choice." A pause. Not the same thing. She considered that. Then, slowly, she sat. Not across from him, not far, beside him. Close. Closer than before. Their shoulders almost touching. Not quite. Rowan didn't move, didn't shift away. "Where I come from," she said quietly, "people do not sit so far apart." A pause. "They sit like this." That wasn't just a statement. That was intention. He turned his head slightly. Looking at her from this distance was different, too close to ignore. "And what does that mean?" he asked. Her fingers moved, slowly, resting on the table, then closer until they brushed his hand. Not accidental. "Means you listen better," she said, soft. Neither of them moved. Her fingers stayed there, light but certain. Rowan's hand shifted slightly, not pulling away, turning, opening. Rough skin against soft, calloused palm under her fingertips. She didn't flinch, didn't hesitate. Instead, her thumb moved, tracing slightly across his hand. Learning. That hit different. Rowan exhaled once, low, controlled, but it was there. "You do that often?" he asked. "No," she said. A pause. "Only when I want to understand." He almost pulled away then. Almost. But he didn't, because something in that moment felt steady, not dangerous, not wrong, real. The air had cleared, fresh, clean after the storm. She stood near the edge of the ridge, looking out at what was left of the town. Rowan stepped beside her, close again, naturally now. "You lost everything," he said. She shook her head slightly. "No." A pause. "Not everything." He looked at her. She didn't look back, still watching the horizon. "I am still here." Then, after a moment, she turned. "And so are you." That landed deeper than anything else. The space between them, barely there now. Her hand lifted, resting lightly against his arm. Not asking, not unsure, just there. He looked down at it, then back at her. Didn't move it away, didn't step back. Because somewhere between the storm, the fire, and the silence, she had stopped being someone he saved and started becoming someone he didn't want to let go of. The sound came before the rider, slow, deliberate, not someone passing through, someone coming here. Mayua felt it first, the shift in the air, the quiet turning, sharp. Rowan was already moving, not fast, not rushed, but certain. He stepped outside. She followed, a step behind, then stopped. Because his hand came back, without looking, finding her wrist, firm, controlled, pulling her slightly behind him. Stay there. Not loud, not optional. She didn't argue, didn't move, just stayed close. The rider emerged from the trees. Cade Mercer. Clean coat, dry boots, a man untouched by the storm. His eyes went straight to her, not Rowan, her. "Well now," his voice smooth, too smooth. "I was hoping you made it." Mayua's fingers tightened slightly behind Rowan. He felt it. Rowan stepped forward, just enough to block the view. "You got business here?" Cade smiled, like he already knew the answer. "I do." A step closer, boots crunching gravel. "She belongs to me." Silence, heavy, immediate. Rowan didn't react, didn't even blink. "No." One word, flat, final. Cade chuckled, soft, amused. "You don't understand." Another step. "I paid for her." A pause. "She ran." His eyes shifted slightly, trying to look past Rowan again. Rowan moved with it, blocking again, closer now. You're done looking at her. His voice dropped lower. Dangerous now. Cade's smile thinned. You think this is your decision? Rowan's hand rested near his gun, not touching, not yet. It is now. The air snapped, invisible line drawn. Cade studied him, really studied him now. Something changed in his eyes. Recognition. Too late. Hale. The name came slower this time. Careful. Rowan didn't answer, didn't confirm, didn't need to. Cade exhaled slightly, the arrogance slipping, just enough. She's worth money. A pause. I'm willing to be reasonable. There it was, the mistake. Rowan turned slightly, just enough to reach back again. His hand found her, this time not her wrist, her waist, pulling her closer, behind him, against him. Clear, deliberate, claim. She's not for sale. Cade's eyes dropped to that hand, then back up, something colder now. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Rowan stepped forward, closing the distance, enough that Cade stopped moving. You're still here. A pause. That means you don't understand what happens next. That did it. Cade took a step back, then another. He wasn't smiling anymore. This isn't over. He mounted, pulled the reins. Just like that, he was gone. The quiet came back slowly, like the land itself was exhaling. Rowan didn't move right away, didn't let go either. His hand was still at her waist, holding her there. He became aware of it, too late, but he didn't pull away immediately. Are you hurt? His voice was different again, lower, closer. She shook her head, but didn't step away, didn't break the contact. He will come back. Rowan's grip tightened slightly, not rough, just certain. Let him. She looked at him, not afraid, not uncertain, seeing him now fully. You are not afraid. He met her eyes. No. A pause. But I don't like people who think they can take what's mine. That word, mine, hung between them. Her body shifted slightly closer, not pulled, chosen. I am not his, she said, soft, certain. Rowan's hand moved slightly at her waist, thumb brushing once. I know. And this time, neither of them stepped away, because the storm had tried to take her. Another man had tried to claim her. But standing there, in the quiet after both, it was already clear she wasn't going anywhere. Night settled slower this time. No storm, no danger, just quiet, and everything that came with it. The cabin felt smaller, not because of space, but because neither of them stayed far anymore. Rowan stood near the table, cleaning his gun. Routine, control, something to do with his hands. Across the room, Mayua watched him, not hiding it, not pretending. You are different now. She said it simply. He didn't look up. Nothing's changed. A pause. Just less noise. She took a step closer, then another, until she stood near him, close. closer than she had ever chosen before. "That is not true." Her voice softer now. "But you know it." He finally looked up, met her eyes, and for a second neither of them spoke. Didn't need to. "You should rest." He said it again, but this time it didn't sound like distance. It sounded like hesitation. She didn't move, didn't step away. Instead, her hand lifted, resting against his arm. Warm, certain. He looked down at it, then back at her. "I am not leaving," she said. Not loud, not emotional, just decided. Something in him shifted, again, but deeper this time. "I didn't ask you to." A pause, then lower. "I just didn't expect you to stay." She stepped closer, now close enough that the space between them disappeared. "I choose it." That word, choose, landed heavier than anything else. His hand moved, not fast, not unsure, resting at her waist again. Familiar now, but different, because this time she didn't wait. She leaned into it, her body fitting naturally against his. Neither of them rushed, didn't break the moment. "You could have left," he said quietly. "So could you," she answered. That almost made him smile. Almost. His hand moved slightly, fingers pressing just enough, holding her there. Not trapping, not forcing, just keeping. "You don't know what follows me," he said, low, real. Her eyes stayed on his, unshaken. "I know what you did." A pause. "You came back." That was enough. His other hand lifted, brushing lightly against her hair, then resting against her face. Careful, rough fingers softening. He gave her time, every second of it. She didn't pull away, didn't hesitate. She leaned in, just slightly, and this time he didn't stop it. Their lips met, soft, unhurried, not hunger, not urgency, something steadier, something chosen. His arm wrapped around her waist fully now, holding her closer, not letting her drift away. When they parted, they didn't separate. Foreheads close, breath shared. "You're not going back there," he said, low, certain. She shook her head. "No." A small pause, then even softer. "I am not going anywhere." Outside, the land stretched wide, still dangerous, still uncertain. But inside, something had changed, something solid, something neither of them had planned, but neither of them would walk away from. Because she wasn't the girl left behind in the flood anymore, and he wasn't the man who rode past everything. Somewhere between the storm, the silence, and the moment they chose to stay, they had found something neither of them had been looking for, and neither of them were willing to lose.